About 4 years ago, I made video sitting in this place, in this room, which looked very similar to this, although there were not index cards all over the walls, and talked about ways to choreograph for color guard flag. To date, that has been my most popular video, which is hilarious to me because it's probably the video that I spent the least amount of time on. I just watch it and laugh because I feel like it's not helpful. I was 18 and I sort of knew what I was talking about, but not really. And at the time, I'd only been doing flag for a year. So it really just was not. So I wanted to come on and do like a similar video, but it's going to be different because I'm not talking about color guard. I'm going to be talking about something else that I actually feel like I'm more authoritative on and should actually talk about. I need to not be wearing this shirt. Hold on. Okay, this is much better. I feel like I actually stand out from my walls, and now you can tell that I have hair instead of just wearing the thingy. So we're talking about worship team because I have been on my church's worship team for almost a year, and I just started working with my college group worship team, which has also been a very unique and interesting experience. Both of them have been different in different ways, but I wanted to talk about them because I like talking about music. I like talking about worship team, and I learned a couple things on worship team as somebody who's literally never done it before that I just wanted to share and thought would be interesting. So here you go. Here's Emily's life advice on worship team. First, I want to acknowledge that everybody's worship team is going to be different and everybody's church is going to do worship differently. And I'm not even going to get into the hot mess and can of worms that is worship for a church because it's a lot and we don't even need to get into that. My church does a balance between traditional and like more contemporary music. We do Sovereign Grace, Matt Boswell, stuff from like Matt Papa, Matt Redman. We do all the Matts. And then we also do different things from Norton Hall Band. If you haven't looked those up, they have some really fun arrangements. Enfield does some fun arrangements of hymns. So we do hymns, but it's usually like a different arrangement of them. A lot of stuff from the Gettys. So that's what my church does. And with that, our church worship team on Sunday mornings has 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 or 10 people. That always consists of typically 3 or 4 vocalists. One of the vocalists is our worship leader who plays acoustic guitar and sometimes he plays electric guitar. And then we also have a bass guitar, sometimes another electric, or if our worship leader plays electric, somebody else does acoustic. Drums, we have a synth, and we also have piano. I sing alto, I also play piano. I have also learned how to play the synth, which has been really fun because it's different. So when you're starting in worship team, or when you're looking to join another group that has maybe a different arrangement of people than you're used to, here's kind of the thought process you can have as you go into it. As a visual person, I like to visualize who's where when we're playing music. It took a long time for me to figure out how the piano like fit in the music sound, how the synth fit in the music sound, where to play, how much to play, when to play, how high to play, because I didn't fully understand like how the band worked together. I'm doing a lot of this. I don't know why my hands are happening a lot in this video, but they are. So after working with them for a while, I've split them into 2 categories. You have your rhythm instruments and you have your tone instruments. Your rhythm instruments are those that do just that. They add rhythm and they add texture to the sound of your music. Your tone instruments very rarely add texture. They're gonna add tone and depth to it.
Editing notes with Emily, the word I was looking for was substance.
I have split these according to the instruments that my church uses. You can, if you have other instruments at your church, you can figure out yourself where they go. I just kind of tried to cover the basics. On rhythm instruments, you've got piano, acoustic guitar, drums, obviously, and sometimes your electric guitar. Depending upon the electric guitar's part, it can be either like a strumming that keeps the pace going, a lead line, so I put that there. Under tone instruments, I put bass, synth, and then I did add electric guitar because once again, depending upon what you're doing, depending upon what the guitarist is doing, it could work differently. With your rhythm instruments, your acoustic and electric guitar are going to tend to be right in here. So when you're doing piano, pulling from something that Bob Kauflin, I think, came up with, you play the donut when you play piano, okay? So this is your like guitar range. Your piano goes here, and so your left hand does more bass notes lower than you think you should. Your piano right hand goes higher than you think you should. And by covering these two and your guitars cover these two, your range is full. That's your rhythm side of it. With your tone side of it, you got your bass and your synth. I'll ignore the electric guitar for now, just know that it can sometimes be there. Bass and synth work much the same way. Your bass in a worship team is gonna have your bass line. And so it's gonna be pretty much down here. Pad or synth or organ, they all fall kind of more up here. However, if in doubt with the synth, go lower because it will stand out more if it's a lower sound. If your synth gets in this mid-range where the guitars are, it gets lost. This information is nothing groundbreaking, and it's nothing you can't find anywhere else. It's just, I've discovered this is helpful, and I like to think about Worship Team in this way, and it's helped me become a better pianist. It's also helped me become a better synth player as I've learned that. If you're starting on a Worship Team, that's awesome. I hope you have a great time with it. I'm gonna leave it at that. If you all have any questions based on this rather strange and disjointed conversation about Worship Team things, leave them in the comments. If there are comments, I don't know, YouTube is weird, and I might respond. I also might not. Thanks for watching. I will see you all next time. Bye.